Another weekly self-defense analysis videos. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how to deal with nunchucks in self-defense. So it's going to be kind of short. So this is a video on how to deal with nunchucks, how to defend against nunchucks, but also how to use them as well, if you will. So let's get started. According to this article, it says Florida man skips out on bill at Japanese restaurant, attacks employee with nunchucks instead. Florida man attacked an employee of a Japanese restaurant with nunchucks after being confronted about not paying his bill. West Palm Beach police said Fisher was a patron at similar restaurant when he left without paying his tab. A restaurant employee approached Fisher outside the restaurant, telling him he had not paid. Fisher became angry and reached inside of his car. According to the arrest report, he pulled out a pair of nunchucks and began swinging them. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy, but people are like that. First of all, like I said in my other videos, it's important to have situational awareness, know who a potential threat is, know the signs of a potentially violent person, look for verbal cues and stuff like that, all that stuff. So if someone doesn't pay for something, that could be a red flag. It could be maybe that they forgot, or maybe they have criminal tendencies. So you have to keep that in mind, and pay attention to their reaction, and try to verbally de-escalate the situation. If you can. If not, then you have to resort to violence, or try to get away if you can. So according to this report, Fisher got angry, reached into his car, and that's a red flag. If someone does that and you're talking to them, you see they're angry, they're trying to reach for something, you have to either stop them, attack them, or flee, which is a better option. Go get inside the restaurant, try to lock the doors, or whatever, do whatever. But don't just stand there and do nothing, because you don't know if the guy's got a gun or a knife or something, in this case nunchucks. So very important to take action, because action is faster than reaction. So very important to keep that in mind. You have to make a split-second decision. Next case. Teen jailed for nunchucks attack. A teenager who used nunchucks on a reveler during a night out in an attack akin to a martial arts movie has been jailed. Footage showed 19-year-old Kyle Morrow using the weapon to beat another man. The incident took place around 10 p.m. It left the teenager's victim needing hospital treatment, fractured eye socket, and broken nose. He bumped into one of the man's friends, decided to take action into his own hands. The video shows the defendant swinging the metal bars at the victim before eventually walking calmly away, hugging and laughing with his friends. After several moments, the nunchucks fell out of his pockets and were seized by officers. Morrow admitted causing grievous bodily harm. Okay, so so let's go look at that again. So nunchucks, serious business. Um, left a fractured eye socket and broken nose on the victim. Um, so unfortunately, the video is not here. I don't think so. We can't really know exactly what went down, but it seems like you can see here that this guy has nunchucks. And look at his posture. You know, he's clearly in a fighting stance. His shoulders. Look at how they're aligned diagonally in a way to the guy. So there's like an argument, I think, and and he's hiding the weapon. So that's all things that you need to take into consideration. Um, so first thing you need to do is try to de-escalate the situation. This guy looks like he's pointing at him. I, that might be the victim. I don't know. Doesn't really say here. Um, but if it is the victim and he's pointing at the guy, that's not really something that you should do because that's considered like aggression and it's kind of rude to point in these particular situations. It's more confrontational and it's just going to escalate the situation further. So it's very important to have training in non-confrontational um, behavior, basically verbal self-defense, verbal de-escalation. Try to diffuse the situation using non-threatening body language, stuff like that. Try to work things out. Um, and if not, then you just gotta go right into your hand-to-hand combat training, um, and try to stop the threat. So, but also you have to take into consideration that no matter what you do, person is probably going to attack you anyways. So you don't. That's an important thing you gotta keep in mind. You don't know if this guy is if he's insane or if he's sociopathic or you just don't know his mental state. He might just be looking to attack somebody just for the heck of it. So verbal de-escalation might or might not work. Um, so it all depends on the situation. So you gotta keep that in mind. Next case. Video shows ninja nunchucks thug and martial arts attack on innocent pubgoer. Kyle Morrow has been jailed. Oh, we already read. Okay, we already saw that. Well, might as well watch the video. I finally found it. Okay, let's look at that again. Okay, so it seems like the guy does a sort of a good job in keeping the distance, although it's not perfect. He did get hit with a bunch of times, and and he did back up against the wall, which is a very bad move to make because your attacker could easily close the distance and trap you there and attack you and do whatever. So you want to use good footwork and maintain the distance between you and your attacker. Um, and it seems like this guy tried to get away, but it wasn't fast enough. He didn't create enough distance. Um, Looked scared. I mean, and the good news is that the guy wasn't aggressive enough to keep attacking. As you can see here, he's he just hits him a little bit and then leaves. So so that's good, um, but you want to be ready for situations like that. You can't be at the mercy of your attacker. So that's pretty important. Maintain your distance and try to escape if possible. Of course, you don't want to turn your back on your attacker either, because then that's just gonna invite him to hit you. So that's it for that case. There we have this case of man attacks two thieves at his house with nunchucks in London. A London man fought off two thieves who attacked him outside of his home in South London. 46-year-old ran out of his house with nunchucks to confront the two thugs who were trying to steal his bike. The incident was caught on camera. The two suspects wore black crash helmets and rode a stolen motorbike up to the property. One was armed with a screwdriver and tried to steal a three-wheeled trike that was parked in the street. After the bike owner came out, one of the robbers snatched his nunchucks and repeatedly hit him, causing injuries to his hand. However, the man managed to grab the robber and push him against the parked car. Two neighbors then came out to help the victim. Suspects ran off, abandoning the stolen motorbike. Um, and that was the end of it. Let's see. Um, okay, so a couple things to keep in mind here. So, um, I don't know the laws in this particular state, but um, I think it's legal. It might be legal to attack the robbers, or obligated. You're obligated to, but if it's not an obligation, then I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't do it. Um, or I'd try not to do it because you don't know what these guys are armed with. You don't know if they have weapons on them or whatever. Um, it's best to call the cops. Um, and try to resolve things through other means. Um, and try to avoid getting into violent confrontations like this. Um, and if you do get in it, then make sure that you have the proper training. Um, and hand-to-hand combat skills, because it seems like this guy didn't really know how to use nunchucks. Like, he owned them, but he wasn't really proficient in using them. You can see from his stance, his feet are like too close together. He and his it's like he's leaning back or tilted somewhere. Um, and I think this is the robber who disarmed him with the nunchucks. Um, so pretty important to keep in mind, and also you have to keep in mind what your attacker's wearing, because if they're wearing helmets, then you're not really gonna have a good shot at knocking them out. That way, if they're wearing helmets, and that's something that you got to keep in mind, like because a lot of schools they don't really keep those things in mind. They just assume that your attacker is not going to wear any protection and whatnot, and so you have to adapt, and you have to find other targets to hit, and use the environment, which this guy did a pretty good job at doing. Um, and one guy was armed, one attacker was armed with a screwdriver. So that could have been fatal. If he got stabbed with that, could have been serious. So you have to take out the person with the weapon first before you deal with the other one. Um, and this is bad. According to this, the robbers disarmed him, took the nunchucks out of his hands, and hit him causing injuries to his hand. So, not good. You want to make sure that your nunchucks are constantly moving and you generate enough power, enough speed, distance, all that. Because usually when uh, people who aren't really trained well in nunchucks will let people, like, they'll either strike too slow, or they won't commit to a strike and whatnot, and that can pretty much give your attacker an opportunity to disarm you. Um, so you got to keep that in mind and use other means of uh, of defense, like the car. Like, he pushed Robert to the car, and that was pretty much it. So that's all I got, guys. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. And if you would like modern self-defense system training, then check out my Fiverr gig below. I got a free lesson if you want it. And thanks for your time, and I'll see you later.